In this video, I'm going to give you a few quick tips that are going to hugely improve your UV mapping workflow in Blender. When I first started using Blender, UV mapping was not one of its strongest suits, so I had to turn to third-party solutions to fill the gap. But that has now changed. The last two releases of Blender, Blender 4 and Blender 5, have brought huge improvements to the UV workflow. The packing algorithm is now much better and can handle shapes that are concave or convex. And with the addition of the minimum stretch option, the Unwrap algorithm is also considerably better than it used to be. But the greatest leap is thanks to a free add-on that you can enable right from within Blender simply by going to Edit, Preferences, and searching for UV. Just look for the Mio3 UV add-on, which you can install right from this dialog box. It's free and open source, and it's a complete game changer. With the help of this add-on, you can now do professional grade UV editing right inside Blender. So with that out of the way, let's discuss some strategies for UV mapping hard surface meshes. Strategy number one is locate some areas that are already flat. Because, as I'm sure you already know, the process of UV mapping involves taking a 3D shape and flattening it out into 2D. So here we have a very quick and dirty unwrap that was created using the Smart UV Project feature. But of course, the main problem with this kind of unwrap is that it's going to create a lot of seams. So I'm going to redo this unwrap manually, and this is going to give us much better results. So step number one is to locate some areas on the mesh that are naturally flat. And the bottom of the bolt is a perfect candidate for this. I'll switch to faces mode. Let's select these two faces, and then I'll hit Ctrl numpad plus to expand my selection right to here. And because this geometry is already flat, it's going to unwrap without any issues. So I'm just going to switch to an orthographic view, go to UV and project from view, and that's going to unwrap those polygons using that projection. If I switch back to the material preview mode and deselect, you can see that we have a perfect unwrap. And so when dealing with hard surface meshes, the logical thing to do is to look for any flat areas and to unwrap them individually one by one. So as well as the bottom of the bolt, I can unwrap this area. I'm going to switch back to the solid shaded mode. Let's select this polygon, and then I'm going to go to Select Similar, Coplanar, and then I'm going to expand that selection to here. And once again, let's switch to the orthographic view and project from view. I'll move those polygons out here, and if I switch back to the material preview mode, you can see that we've unwrapped this and there is no distortion. So once you've unwrapped all of the flat parts of your mesh, the next thing to look for is regular edge loops, such as the one we have here. And any regular edge loop can also be unwrapped without any distortion. I'm going to start by selecting these two UV islands and then going to Select Loops, Select Boundary Loop. Then I hit Ctrl E, and I'm going to mark those edges as seams. And that means that I now have a seam at the top and bottom of this edge loop. So all I need to do now is to add some vertical seams. And we can do this using the Pick Shortest Path shortcut. So if I select this edge and hold Ctrl to select this edge, I can change the behavior from select to tag seam. And as you can see, that's going to allow me to cut seams very quickly. So with that done, let's spin around to the other side of the model and cut a seam here. Then I'll switch to faces mode. Let's double click to select this edge loop, expand the selection, and I'm going to come over to the UV editor, hit U, and I'm going to unwrap that using minimum stretch. So that's going to create two UV islands that you can see here. And if I deselect and just take a look in the 3D view, you can see that the unwrap is pretty good. There's hardly any distortion. But if I switch to an orthographic view, you can see that while the unwrap is pretty good, it's not perfect. And that's because the grid isn't quite straight. And this is where the Mio3 UV add-on comes into its own, because this is going to allow you to straighten any shape. So I'm going to head over to the editor, hover over this island and hit L to select it. Then I'm going to hit N to open the side panel. And in the Mio3 UV tools, I'm going to click on Rectify. And as you can see, that straightens that UV island. So let's do the same with the next one. And the next tip I want to talk about is to check your subdivision settings. Because you might have noticed that I have the advanced section of the subdivision modifier already exposed, and I've changed the UV smooth behavior to keep corners. So let me just tab into object mode and explain what this is about. And in fact, I'm going to delete this subdivision modifier and hit Ctrl 2 to reapply it. Now, if I zoom back into the geometry, you can see that we've got some really bad distortion here on these corners. And that's because by default, the UV smooth setting is set to keep boundaries. And that's why we have this distortion. We need to change it to either keep corners or to all. And this will depend on your mesh. You can see that when I changed it to all, we got some additional distortion up here. So I'm going to set it back to keep corners, and that improves this area here. With that done, let's tab back into edit mode because I want to talk about the next tip, which is to use the distortion overlay in the UV editor. To do that, locate your overlays button, click the little arrow next to it, and check the box under UV stretch. Personally, I like to change it from the default of angle to area, just because that's a visual aid that I find more useful. The other option that I recommend, if you haven't done it already, is to always use UV sync selection, because that will allow you to see your UV map at all times, not just when the geometry is selected in the 3D view. So with that done, I'm just going to enable the subdivision in the viewport, and I'm going to lasso select the areas that I've already unwrapped, and I'm going to hit H to hide them. And so that just leaves us with this threaded part here, which is the final part of the mesh that needs unwrapping. So the Smart UV project has broken this up into lots of separate islands, but I'm going to unwrap it manually into just 2 islands. So to start with, let's take a look at the top part. I'm going to switch to edges mode. Let's double click to select this edge and mark it as a seam. And that's going to separate out the top as an individual island. And a general rule of thumb that you might want to bear in mind when you're UV mapping is the more seams you have, the less distortion you're likely to have. So if you have an area that has a lot of curvature, it might make sense to break it up into smaller parts so that you have more seams, which will allow for an unwrap with less distortion. But in this particular case, we can get away with a small number of seams. We're always going to get a little bit of distortion because these shapes that are very three-dimensional are going to need to be flattened, and that's always going to cause distortion. But I'm going to switch to the solid shaded mode and zoom out and try and locate the most logical place for a seam. And I think this edge loop coming down here is a great candidate. So let's select this edge, and holding Control, I'll select this edge, and that's going to create a seam running down the length of the shaft. So then I can switch back to the material preview mode. I'm going to hit A to select everything. Let's head over to the UV editor, hit U to bring up the unwrap menu, and I'm going to unwrap using the newer minimum stretch algorithm, which is very, very good. With that done, let's deselect and take a look at the unwrap. So it's not too bad. The distortion is reasonably controlled, but as you can see, we do have quite a lot of distortion up here, and the grid isn't really aligned with the world. But the good news is we can fix this with the Mio 3 UV tools, and that brings me to the final tip, which is to straighten your UV islands as much as possible. Because by straightening your UV islands, you're going to allow for the textures to flow much more consistently over the surface of your geometry. And that is something you can visualize with the grid in the UV checker image. So I head over to the UV editor, let's hit N to open the side panel to expose the Mio 3 UV tools. And what I'm going to do is to straighten all the vertical edges in this UV island. And that is going to give us a much more consistent unwrap on this geometry. So let's zoom in. I'm going to select this edge and holding Control, select this edge. And then I'm going to come over to the Mio 3 panel and run the straight tool. Then let's do exactly the same thing on the other side. And already you can see that that is giving us a much better alignment of the UV checker texture. But there's still some issues with these vertical edges that, as you can see, are zigzagging very slightly. So I'm going to hit L to select this entire UV island. And I'm going to click on this button to straighten just the vertical edges. I'll leave the horizontal edges alone because I want to preserve the angle of these diagonal loops. So with that done, I'm just going to dismiss the side panel, hit Alt-H to reveal all the hidden geometry. I hit A to select everything. Let's average the island scale. And then I'm going to pack those UVs with the rotate option unchecked. And now if I tab back into object mode, you can see that we've got a really solid unwrap on this rather tricky shape. So if you were skeptical about Blender's UV mapping abilities, I hope this video has gone some way towards changing your mind. And if you'd like a much deeper dive into UV mapping in Blender, I can recommend my course, Hard Surface UV Mapping in Blender. There's a link in the description, and this covers a lot more ground and will turn you into a UV mapping ninja. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.